God's Word tells us that it is wise to save for the future. But in Luke 12, we see the harsh reality of saving for the wrong reasons. Our story starts with a brother upset over an inheritance and asking Jesus to help him out. Jesus does, but probably not in the way he was expecting. Rather than arbitrating a settlement, Jesus gives him something much better: advice, telling him and the crowd to be on guard against all kinds of greed. To further his point, Jesus then jumps into a story about a rich man who has absolutely crushed it during the harvest season, so much so that he doesn't even have enough room to store his crops. This rich man starts talking to himself, which seems a little weird, about building bigger barns to store his enormous crop. For him, it seems to make sense. He'll have years of grain stored, and now he can sit back, eat, drink, and be merry. It's perfect. Except it's not. You see, there's someone who isn't a big fan of this plan: God. And he flat out sticks it to the rich man, calling him a fool and letting him know it's over. His self-centered life is done, and leaving him with one final question: who gets your grain now? Boom. Here's the deal. Saving can be a really good thing, helping us to give generously, provide for our families, and meet our financial obligations during times of financial hardship. It can be a huge blessing, propelling us to do what God has called us to, even in the midst of challenging times. But as the rich man experienced it, it can also be a huge hindrance, negatively impacting our relationship with the Lord as our hearts are drawn towards the provision and away from the provider, using savings and abundance selfishly rather than for the purposes of God. So yes, save for the rainy days, save for the future, save so the shackles of debt find it hard to grab a hold of you. But while you're at it, remember this: we find our security and trust in God and not in the building of bigger barns.